In this video, we are going over the top 10 crosshairs that are so good, they simply feel like cheats. In a first-person shooter like Valorant, where your crosshair is one of the key parts of how you aim, getting an array of clean crosshairs that you like and feel good with can be the difference between you getting the kill or whiffing. In my opinion, it's essential to have at least 3 crosshairs that you are comfortable with just in case you're having a bad game. Codes for each will be down in the description below. So now without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting our list, we have the commonly known plus crosshair. This has been around for a long time, originally made famous by CNED when they went on to win the VCT Champions in 2021. But nowadays, other pros such as Disguised Ye, Shroud, and Navi Xiao actively use it as well. This is one of my personal favorites, and I always find myself returning to it whenever I feel stale mid-game. It suits all types of aiming styles and is great if you're a more experienced aimer. You can use a wide array of colors, but I recommend using green, cyan, yellow, or white. I suggest if you haven't used this crosshair already, then you should not wait about and give it a try. Next up, we have the infamous dot crosshair. This one has been around for years, mainly gaining notoriety from Carmine Corp's Scream. Scream has been using the dot throughout his time in Valorant. He made it popular in Counter-Strike with his flashy one-tap plays. Although Scream uses a similar crosshair, I find this one much easier to see in game. Since it is a small crosshair, it's usually used when you're feeling your aim rather than if you're having an off day. If you think that you're having a good day, then this dot will make you tap heads. While you are using 4x3 or 5x4 resolution, this crosshair feels at its best. Although not to discredit, the dot works just as well on 16x9 resolution. You can use a wide variety of colors for this one, but I recommend not to use black. Coming in at 3, we have what many consider to be the default, though perhaps it's more commonly known as the TENS crosshair. This is one of the most used crosshairs in Valorant as of now. TENS, being one of the more popular pros in the Valorant scene, currently plays for Sentinels. Pros such as Zoms, Wardell, and Cryo have been using this crosshair in the past too. Being a combination of both big and small, the default crosshair is the perfect size for most people. This is a great beginner's crosshair, as it gives you a great platform for you to expand and make your own crosshairs to suit your playstyle. In most cases, cyan, blue, yellow, and white are most commonly used with the option to turn outlines on or off to make it stand out more. In my opinion, I like to keep them on so it stands out more, especially with cyan. Before we head into the next crosshair, I'd quickly like to take a moment to remind you about our incredible resources available over on ProGuides.com. Boost your game with courses by top pros, including our newest edition, Yay. With our $8 a month subscription, you get discounted one-on-one personalized coaching in addition to unrestricted access to all of our courses and boot camps. Don't pass up this chance to level up your Valorant abilities. Visit ProGuides now and begin your ascent to greatness. We can't go through a crosshair video without including the aim god Asuna. His crosshair is great for close to medium range, and if you're a duelist player who likes to get into the sight fast and get up close and personal, this one's for you. If you are a player who prefers to sit back and hold angles at longer range, this crosshair may not be the best for you, as the smaller gap in the middle makes it harder to focus on seeing enemies at longer range. It's one of my favorites to switch to whenever default crosshair doesn't feel too good, and when I don't want a larger crosshair. It allows me to play my tap style of shooting more than if I had a bigger crosshair. The majority of colors for this crosshair are fine to use, as it doesn't make that much of a difference to the way it looks. Only black will make a significant difference to the appearance. At number 5 on the list, we have the Counter-Strike crosshair. Now, this crosshair is not seen as much, but it is extremely underrated. It's a bigger crosshair that would have commonly been used by CSGO pro players in the past and present. It has a nice feel that allows you to have a mix of both spraying and tapping capability. The sizable gap allows for the enemy's heads to almost perfectly fit inside of it, and it's very satisfying that they walk into your line of sight. This crosshair is a personal favorite of mine if I'm having a bad day and I feel like I can't hit the broadside of a barn. The bigger crosshair makes the enemies feel small and makes them much easier to hit. I definitely suggest you try this with your favorite Vandal and see how your aim feels. The colors I suggest for this are yellow, red, cyan, and blue. But any color works, it just depends on your personal preference. Coming in at number 6, a crosshair that is used by none other than the bald magician sentinel Sacy. Currently in VCT Americas, he has maintained a 30% headshot rate, showing just how crisp it really is. This crosshair is a slight adaptation to the default crosshair, but it adds a little bit of extra spice to it. Sacy has been using this crosshair throughout much of his recent success, including Loud's domination in Champions last year. The crosshair has a very similar look to the default crosshair used by TENS, but it feels a little bit better. It works best in close to medium range, however at long range it's a bit different. I found it hard to focus on angles at times on maps like Lotus, but I felt like it works well on other maps in the pool. You can use almost any color on it, as the shape and feel of the crosshair doesn't change. For me, I personally prefer yellow, white, or cyan. Straying away from the normal crosshairs, we have the Tic Tac Toe crosshair. Now, I know what you're thinking. Frost, you're crazy, right? Well, actually, this crosshair may seem like a troll, but it's very clean and a nice feeling crosshair. Although it may look very unconventional, the outlines give you an easy target to focus on while holding an angle. While the enemies may feel like they are harder to see, it only takes a little bit of playtime to feel the full benefit of how good it is. If you're looking for a crosshair that is big but also feels like the enemies are spawning inside your crosshair and looks a little bit different, then this one is for you. I recommend white or cyan for this one, as any other colors feel too conflicting. It's all down to personal preference really. If you're looking for a crosshair that feels like a dot but isn't as small as a dot crosshair, then this one might be for you. Coming in at number 8, we have the box crosshair. This crosshair has a nice feel to it, giving you a nice combination of being able to see enemies very well at both long and close range. The crosshair has become more recognized recently, as former DRX player Lakia has been using it. Although its shape isn't like a standardized crosshair, it gives you a good crisp sense of control to lock onto the enemy's heads. The square box allows you to feel a lot more confident in your aim due to the fact that its clean small look gives you a precise feel. If you're looking for an all-around good crosshair that turns you into a headshot machine like Lakia, then you should absolutely try this one out. I recommend using cyan and white for this. Other colors can be used, but I feel that they don't go well with the crosshair. For the 9th crosshair on this list, we have the UFO crosshair. This crosshair is used by Paper Rex's main duelist Forsaken. His crosshair appears black as a result of the unique combination between inner lines and outer lines. The opacity of the outer lines is 0 so that they don't appear on screen, yet they help shape the crosshair to give it this funky look. This crosshair is a personal favorite of mine recently, as the shape and look of the crosshair gives me a different type of confidence which is unmatched by any of the other crosshairs I've used recently. Due to the shape and look of the crosshair, it makes it much easier to do lineups due to how bold it looks. My favorite part about this crosshair is that it feels like a combination of both a dot and a normal crosshair, so that way it gives you a precise feel when you lock onto their heads. As its shape relies on the black outlines, it's recommended that you keep the color of this crosshair full black as shown. Finally, wrapping up our list of the top 10 crosshairs that feel like cheats is another crosshair from Ye. He offers up a large crosshair to add to the mix, but this one is unique in that it uses a very subtle outline. This will do just enough to help you hone in on the silhouettes of your enemies while keeping your crosshair visible in those chaotic moments, without it adding too much extra visual clutter. The one thing that I enjoyed while using this crosshair was the fact that it was much easier to focus on compared to a smaller crosshair. I found my eyes to be always fixed on the center of the crosshair, allowing me to be fully focused on my opponent. From the testing I did, I found no issue in using any color with this crosshair, but it's always recommended to try the color that you use the most. So guys, that's a wrap on the top 10 crosshairs that are like cheats without cheats. All of the crosshairs that were mentioned in this video will be listed in the description below. What did you think of these crosshairs? Do you think you will use any of them in your ranked games? Let us know in the comment section down below. And make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell.